In the world of content marketing, there's this constant battle, isn't there? It's a choice between being seen everywhere and being trusted deeply. Are you trying to be just a fleeting distraction, or are you building something that lasts, a real authority? Well, this explainer is all about the strategic cycle that lets you have both. It's about turning your content from just more noise into an unshakable asset.
So let's just kick things off with a big idea that really frames this whole discussion. The greatest strategic failure is believing that being everywhere is the same as being an authority. So many of us are chasing visibility, right? We're hoping that if we're on every single platform, success will just happen. But this quote, it really nails the mistake. Trust, the thing that actually drives business, isn't built by casting a wide net. Nope. It's built way down in the depths of real expertise.
All right, let's put a name to this problem. We call it the Ubiquity Trap. And the subtitle says it all, doesn't it? Why being everywhere means you're nowhere. It's this really seductive but super dangerous belief that just being present equals having influence. In this frantic rush to cover every trend, to be on every new platform, brands end up becoming a resource for, well, for no one. You just become part of the background noise.
And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you've got ubiquity. It's like this big, confused crowd gathered around a really shallow pond. That's the strategy of breadth. It feels busy, it feels productive, but what does it lead to? High visibility, sure, but critically low trust. Now look at the right, that's authority. It's a smaller, much more focused group drawing from a deep, clear well. This is the strategy of depth. It's slower, yeah, and it's more focused, but the payoff is huge. You attract high-intent users, people who are actually looking for your solution, and they show up already trusting you, ready to convert.
You know, the ubiquity trap leads to this very specific condition. I like to call it information thinness. This is what happens when your content becomes a mile wide but only an inch deep. You've got a blog post over here, a video there, a thread on some other topic, but none of them are the definitive resource. In your customer's mind, you just become a generalist. And let's be honest, in a world that is drowning in information, generalists get ignored. It's the experts who earn the click, the follow, and in the end, the sale.
Okay, so if that's the trap, how in the world do we get out of it? Well, the answer isn't choosing between depth or breadth. It's about getting the sequence right. And that brings us to the core of this whole explainer, the authority reach cycle. This is the blueprint, the system designed to make you both a trusted authority and widely discoverable. It's all about balancing these two powerful forces. Let's see how it works.
And you know, this cycle is actually beautiful in its simplicity. It's just two distinct phases. Step one is deep pillar hardening. The language here is really intentional. Hardening. It means you're creating something strong, defensible, permanent. This is where you build that unshakable foundation of authority on one single core topic. Then, and only after you've done that, you move to step two, breadth atomization. This is where you take that massive, deep asset and you break it down, you atomize it into dozens of smaller pieces of content designed for discovery.
This slide right here, this is the core mantra of the whole system. You must go deep to win the sale and go wide to be found. See, they're two totally different goals and they require two totally different kinds of content. The sale, the conversion, that ultimate act of trust, that's one with deep, authoritative content that proves you know your stuff. But for people to even find that amazing content, you need a wide net of smaller, discoverable pieces out there on the surface. Those little pieces, they're like signposts, all guiding people back to your core of authority.
So let's dive into phase one, the most critical part of this whole thing. We're talking about building your content moat. Think about it. Back in medieval times, a moat was that deep ditch of water around a castle that made it almost impossible to attack. Well, your deep pillar content serves the exact same purpose today. It's a defensive asset that protects your authority from all your competitors. So what actually makes a piece of content a true pillar asset? Well, first, it doesn't try to solve 10 problems. It solves one single high-stakes problem for your customer. Second, it has to be the definitive, exhaustive resource. When someone's done with it, they should feel like, wow, I don't need to look anywhere else. Third, and this is so important, it's got to be so comprehensive that a competitor looks at it and just thinks, there's no way we can copy that without a massive investment. That's your moat. And finally, it's not for casual browsing. It is explicitly designed to convert high-intent users by just overwhelming them with value and expertise.
Okay, so your moat is built. Your castle of authority is totally secure. But now you need a way for people to get to it, right? That's where phase two comes in, building the discovery bridge. This whole process is called atomization.
If your pillar asset is the deep, authoritative book, then these atomized pieces are the flyers, the social posts, the short video clips that tell the entire world that your amazing book exists. So, what does this look like in practice? Well, it literally means you deconstruct your masterpiece. You take that incredible 10,000-word guide and you turn it into 20 social media posts, 10 short video scripts, maybe 5 newsletter sections, and a handful of infographics. Each little piece offers a tiny bit of value on its own, but its real job is to be a breadcrumb, a signpost that leads interested people back to your main pillar, where the real trust building happens.
Now, you might be wondering, okay, but what if I'm brand new? I don't even know what my main topic should be. And that's a great question. Every rule has an exception, and we call this one the market entry exception. If you're a new brand, it actually makes sense to start with breadth, just to map the market. Use that phase to test topics, listen to the questions people are asking, find the signal in the noise. But as soon as you identify that core pain point that people have, you stop exploring and you go all in on building your deep pillar on that one topic.
So, we've covered the what and the how, but honestly, this next part is my favorite. It's the why. To really master this strategy, you have to understand why it works so darn well. And it has less to do with algorithms and more to do with, you guessed it, human psychology. This system is powerful because it leverages these hardwired cognitive biases we all have to build both trust and familiarity at the exact same time.
The first one, and this is the big one, is the halo effect. It's this fascinating shortcut our brains take. When we see a brand demonstrate profound, undeniable expertise in one specific area, our brain just assumes they must be competent across the board. It creates this halo of expertise. So by creating that one definitive, deep pillar, you're not just proving you're an expert on that one topic. You're creating a psychological halo that makes customers trust your entire brand and everything else you offer. That is the incredible power of depth. Now, on the other side of the coin, you have your breadth content. This taps into something called the mere exposure effect. Honestly, it's a simple reason why brand advertising works. The idea is that people start to prefer things just because they're familiar with them. Seeing your logo, your name, your short videos again and again, it lowers their guard, it builds a subconscious familiarity. They might not even remember what the post was about, but they remember seeing you. And that familiarity makes them way more likely to click when they eventually do see your deeper stuff.
This table just brings the whole psychological strategy together so perfectly. Look at this. On the top row, your depth tactic, that's your pillar content, is designed to trigger the halo effect, which gives you unshakable trust. Then on the second row, your breadth tactic, all that atomized content, triggers the mere exposure effect, which gets you top-of-mind familiarity. It's a 1-2 punch that's just psychologically potent. Breadth makes them aware of you, but it's the depth that makes them trust you.
Okay, we've gone through the problem, we've unpacked the system, we've even dug into the psychology. Now, let's get our hands dirty. Let's move from theory to mastery. How do you actually put this into practice? We're going to walk through an actionable framework you can use starting today to build your own engine of authority and reach. And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It all sounds great in theory, but where do you actually start? Well, the whole process kicks off with one single critical decision. It's a decision that's going to inform everything else you do.
Here is your path step by step. Step 1, execute the Moat Audit. This is a strategy session where you have to be brutally honest and ask, what is the one high-stakes topic where we can become the undisputed authority in the world? Not just good at it, the best. Once you've got that, Step 2, apply the 80-20 rule. Dedicate 80% of your best creative energy, your best people, to building that deep pillar. The other 20%, that's just for the mechanical work of chopping it up for reach. And finally, Step 3, you monitor and adjust. Identify the discovery gap. If your incredible, deep content isn't getting the traffic it deserves, the problem isn't the content, it's the bridge. You just need to create more breadth content to build a stronger bridge.
So what's the end game here? What does it look like when you finally mastered this? Mastery isn't about having the most followers or getting the most views. Mastery is when your whole system is in sync. It's when your network of broad, discoverable content is consistently and successfully funneling the right people into your deep, authoritative content where high-trust conversions just happen naturally. The breadth finds them, the depth converts them. Simple as that.
As we wrap this up, let's just circle back to the core logic of this whole system. The final, most essential insight is that you have to earn the right to go wide by first going deep. In a world that is just saturated with generic, superficial, commodity content, depth is your only defense. It's your moat. It's the only thing that's truly hard to copy, and because of that, it's the only thing that is truly valuable.
And let's just end on this thought. Forget this whole idea of aggressively pushing people through a funnel. The best marketing, the most sustainable marketing, it doesn't push, it pulls. It creates such a powerful center of gravity, so much value and expertise with its deep content, that it naturally pulls the right people towards it. And that powerful pull is only possible because the entire system is built on a foundation of unshakable, undeniable depth.